All right. Okay, hey Missy, it's recording now. So we're gonna get started. And tonight the topic was gonna discuss was Sedona and grid working and our books and then current events. So we got lots to discuss and everything too. So how are you doing with your
I'm
UFO behind you too?
great. Isn't that cute? And look,
Hmm. That
this
is
is
so
also
cool. I like that.
erupted. Yeah, I made that. So
Yeah.
there it is. Yeah, we've had a lot of birthdaying going on. So the birthday boy is a little bit worn out from all the birthdaying.
Uh,
Yeah, a little
author, right? Author. Yeah.
Arthur. So that's
Arthur. Mm-hmm.
Arthur and Thor. Yeah, so we've been camping out in our RV and he's had a really good time. So we've all had a good time and it's been restful and relaxing and kind of needed and work trying to get the creative juices going for all the projects that are, coming up, which is the thing that I'm doing with, Julia Anchorhaven is going to be a part of it. Gina Virginia Casella's Summer Days Conference, which is going to be June 13th, Saturday,
Oh,
June.
okay. I didn't know
And
about that.
Soma Ra is going to be in it, and Slavka and Laura Ferguson. I think there's one other person. I can't remember who.
Oh,
And I
okay.
Jason is going to be behind the scenes and Michael Koff helping with it. So that'll be great. And trying to work on the book. And right now I'm in South Carolina and I'll be going back to North Carolina in about 3 weeks.
Okay. And North Carolina is your home.
Well, I'm both places are home.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I go
Good.
back and forth. So it's those grids. It's the Carolinas, which at one time it was just the Carolinas. There was no division between North and South Carolina. And if you know anything about South Carolina, I'm not far from the Charleston area when I'm in Edisto Island, South Carolina. That's where the first shots of the Civil War were fired.
Oh.
So the seat of contention for the United States of holding all those warring timelines is right in the Charleston area, which is housed in part of the Bermuda Triangle, which is Stargate 3.
So what do you experience? Like some of those things right there with that high energy and cryptids, and so it's like a vortex or so, right? Something like it's
The
open.
beach area of Edisto, actually, people have found mastodon bones because it kind of opens those weird portals from the dredging and things, and it sits between two military bases. So to the north, the Charleston Airport shares it with the Air Force Base, and to the south, in the Beaufort area, is Paris Island. It's the Marines,
Wow.
the Marine base. And one time, a few years ago, after the January 6th incident, when we were in the whole lockdown mess, when I was coming back at night from the pool, I saw two triangle craft UFOs with their lights on, just hovering. And I was just kind of had my tongue out looking at them like, oh,
Yeah.
there they are. But these are the military guys. And then they
Military. Mm-hmm.
quietly just disappeared.
Oh, they just
Yeah.
patrol, or they're the base right in there, and they're just leaving, coming or going
Yeah.
from the base.
Probably just leaving from the military base. And then we've had the Blue Angels, have flown in this area. So we've seen the Blue Angels and, stuff like that. But I'm not here as much. I actually spend much more time in Western North Carolina.
Mm-hmm. And because you live in an RV, right? Is that right?
We have a house too, but we're camping out in the RV because we actually rent our RV out for something called Hip Camp. So instead of Airbnb, we rent out our RV. And sometimes we like to camp out in ourselves because it's something different. And this way we check to make sure everything's working
Oh yeah.
properly.
Yeah, you take it on a long road trip and do all the fixing up and everything too
Or
while
just
you're on.
keep it where it is and experience it because where it is right in the middle of nowhere in the woods. So
Oh,
it's sort of like off the grid and a good location. And it actually looks like it's in Jurassic Park.
oh
So
really? Oh wow.
So that's what we do. And sometimes it's actually felt that way. And it's even felt like it's an experimental Westworld kind of a thing. It's weird because even off the grid, I have those weird experiences, and I don't know if it's because of whatever's going on in the water, if there's hypersonics in the area. I mean, you hear the military, like today, we heard them going over us. So I just don't know, but there definitely is something weird going on. And when we first came to the area, there was a place that our builder took us by boat called Monkey Island.
Oh,
And this place was a place that reminded me like of Planet of the Apes or something. I mean, small monkeys, but it said you're not allowed to disturb the monkeys, because they were in experiments. So
oh,
it's like it's a leftover retired experimental thing with
oh,
these monkeys being
goodness.
retired, and they're living out the rest of their days on this Monkey Island.
Wow. Wow. And that's close by there too? Right? That's,
Yeah, well, it's by boat. I mean,
yeah.
you can't get to it. See, there's a lot of these islands in this area that you have to like go to by boat. Like Charleston's not far as a crow flies, but to get there, it takes, over an hour to get to the downtown area because you can't just get there. You have to go through little towns and all this stuff. But if you could just take a boat there or fly, it wouldn't be maybe 15 or, it's a lot closer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I didn't know all about the land right there, like with the natives and everything too. So that because that all that area is so amplified from all the Cherokee and all of the five civilized tribes, right? Like the Mississippian culture and stuff too. So
Right,
it's all right there.
the Edisto Indians, and then in Western North Carolina, of course, it's the Cherokee, and then of course with the Cherokee removal, they were removed under Andrew Jackson to where you are. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there's a lot of amplification with everything going on, but from what I've heard is when the monks went through, that cleared some of those seeds of contention. They never actually made it to Charleston or certain parts of North Carolina, but they were in the Bridgeway, which was Columbia, South Carolina, which is right between the high country of the mountains and the low country of the coast, called the Midlands or the Piedmont.
Yeah. Do you?
Monks for peace. I wasn't there.
Mhm.
I actually happened to be in Florida at the time that happened. I was down in Florida and went on those cruises and things like that, and went
Yeah.
to actually see. I've got Robert the Haunted Doll.
Oh, you got Robert. Wow. You got a,
This
replica of him.
Robert
Yeah.
the Haunted Doll,
Mm-hmm.
and if you know anything about Robert the
Yeah.
Haunted Doll, my experience of Robert, which much more than a haunted doll of Robert Eugene Otto, who was 122 years old. Robert had showed me things, and it was almost like he was like some kind of, in a way, collective tulpa or egregore or something more. He was the guardian, he was like a gatekeeper and guardian of the East Fort Martello Museum, where at the point of the Keys, so it's at the southernmost point of Key West, where the Gulf of America, Mexico of Stargate 2, which is Siesta Key, and Sarasota, which Iasha from from Kelonic Science actually says it's dark flowering now. That's why she has moved from Myakka, Florida, over to Ireland,
Mm.
because reds are dark flowering. And then Stargate 3, which is, where, the tip of Puerto Rico,
Mm.
Miami, and Bermuda, which is the Bermuda Triangle, which I have a whole grid work thing on Puerto Rico, the Bermuda Triangle. I could tell you what all these places mean, but
Oh.
bringing up this right now because this was my most recent trip before I came back to, South Carolina, North Carolina, was going to see Robert the Haunted Doll, and he showed me holographically, the Industrial Revolution, showed me World War One, World War Two, and that was right before this war broke out. It was like a couple days before. He also showed me like he was upset because kids were playing with uh, dolls and toys and outside in his day and not doing this all day long.
Mm-hmm.
Now or with their smartphone and things like that. And a lot of people are afraid, like, oh, you can't take a picture of them, you can't do this or that. He was saying to me, it's whatever you think, he amplifies just being in that energy field of
Mhm.
whatever he is, amplifies your thoughts. So if they're positive, you're going to have positive experiences. And if they're negative, they're going to be negative experiences.
Mhm. Yeah. And you went in there like just knowing him, like talking to him like on the phone or something like that, like you would talk to a normal person. And he's
Right.
showing you stuff and telepathically and in your mind too. He's showing you things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
That
anyway, I was Sedona. I want to
uh
hear about Sedona.
yeah, Sedona. I never been there before until this time, so I was uh it's just mind blowing when you're coming from the airport, from the Flagstaff airport, driving into Sedona. Um, it's like the mountains and the scenery just driving because it's like through all the mountains and stuff and windy roads and everything, all through. So it just is it's like I don't even have words to describe how like breathtaking and just mind-blowing the scenery is. So I loved that and I could just do that the whole time and forget about going to any conference or any place like that. I would just like to just be there and go explore and stuff like that more than anything. So I really was happy that we got there um and we could leave at lunch, like we had lunch break time at the whole thing. So we would leave and go to a site, different sites and stuff like that. So um that made me feel much better because it's like being there at the conference as a vendor and stuff and that just isn't as much fun as going out into the and exploring. So at least I got to see that and experience what that is to be a vendor. And then now I know I don't really want to be a vendor. I'd rather just be free to roam around and then leave and go and do something else, like that too. So yeah, and the feeling of stuff like some places was like a vortex. The whole place is a vortex. I know that in there, but there's little places like a where you could go sightsee off of a area and it says it's like a vortex or so. But I really didn't feel anything there. I feel it if it's really powerful. So if I didn't feel anything up there, but I feel stuff in um just by seeing the sites, the monuments and everything too. Like the some of them look like ant hills and some of them look like a Stargate right there. Um, so so yeah, and I know that. Hmm?
Did you go to Bell Rock then?
No, we didn't get to go there. We ran out of time. Yeah, we ran out of time because we had Saturday and Sunday, and then Monday we went um to I don't remember where the place is. It's like a spring or something like that where they were doing like a grid work thing there. So we were amplifying the energy there, all of us holding hands and doing like a circle, like in the inner circle was going clockwise and the outer circle was counterclockwise and we were projecting our consciousness like up and doing like grid work to uplift that area and then like speaking light language and
Who was doing that? Just the group of you girls, you ladies?
no, Rion and Tone and everybody that was at the conference
Oh,
who
everybody at the
wanted to
conference.
go there. Yeah, who wanted to go there, and then they had the day of being afterwards too. So it was like Zachary Fisher and all of them too was there, and then after that, then they had the day of being at another site. So they chose this one though. I guess it was like a some kind of spring, but I guess people come there and they bring like crystal balls and stuff because I've seen like crystal balls in the streams and stuff too, that people put there. So it's really I guess that's something that people really do. They bring those like they donate stuff like that to the places. So I was like, wow, like um It's like lots, like don't touch it because it's like something that was put there for the grid work, you know. So everybody kind of goes there doing grid work. So I mean, but I don't know if it really like needs the grid work. I wasn't My intention there though wasn't grid work. It was to connect and get more downloads from my ancestors, from my star family, from my natives, you know, everything like that. So that was kind of what I was holding myself for, you know, there, and sharing my frequency with, because we was all holding hands and stuff too. So um and we were sending it that way, like going fast, like spinning. So and I was standing next to like Sean Bond, and so Sean Bond and Tone Millard, and I saw Tyler Koala and Lily Nova and Katie. That's Katie is Lily, their roommates there, and Katie is the one who picked us up from the airport, me and Patty, and then took us around and everything too. So was really grateful that she came to pick us up from the airport and took us to our hotel and stuff, and to the place. The first ceremony was like of the Hopi. They had an opening ceremony, like the eagle dance and stuff. It was a Hopi elder and then his family, and then they did their song, their ceremony, and did the eagle dance and stuff. So that was really cool. And then the next day, then it was just all the speakers and stuff inside there, but then the vendors are outside, so we don't get to really hear the speakers. So I missed a lot of the speakers and stuff like that too. So I was like, I don't know. This is, I would rather be free from this plate, the booth, and get to go and listen to the speakers and um, leave and all that too. So that was an experience though, you know, for that. So yeah, it was a lot in a short period of time. It was like a tornado spinning, you know. So and I was like, it's like lots of things going on, and it's like so many things, tornadoes and all that. It's like, I was having a hard time like feeling grounded, and I kept on like wanting to eat. I was always hungry, trying to ground myself because I couldn't. I was like,
Yep.
I need to like ground myself. I'm hungry, you know, I'm hungry. I'm eating, like I was eating like 3 meals, and I never eat 3 meals, you know. So um yeah, it's a lot. It is, and I could,
Electrical energy too, I think. I find it very electrical because when there's that much sun hitting something like sandstone, it because
yeah,
here on the island it's a lot more electrical and not so yin, except for these springs. I wonder if it's the same thing if it was south. So let me give you a little preview of my
yeah,
experience in Arizona as a whole, because when I was
yeah,
an truck driver, it was the four corners. I was telling this story today when I was preparing for this conference about it was in the year of 2000,
mm,
in September, that I was camping out, living in an RV then. Then we were really living in an RV in
yeah,
Fort Yargo State Park, which was in Winder, Georgia, which is north of Atlanta. Okay, so it's north of Gwinnett, and it's in Barrow County. And there was like a level of boredom for my husband setting in because he was working for a company called Pollock's, driving a tanker truck, which was delivering things like liquid oxygen, nitrogen. And he just knew he didn't want to stay there. And it's like, what do we do? What's our next step? And in those days, I used to like to play with the Rand McNally map, before Waze, before, Google Maps and all this stuff. I would just get out that Rand McNally and I'd get my pendulum and crystals out, and I'm just like over the four corners, and I hear
yeah,
inside my head, it was like an audible sound, but inside my head at the same time, you're gonna do grid work. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like you're gonna go out and actually physically do it? And then I go outside that day. At that time, I had my cat Soda, who was the female predecessor to Arthur. She was an orange female tabby, born May 20th, pretty much, I think, by synchronicity. I got that. I know for sure Arthur was born May 19th, but both cats, Taurus.
mm-hmm,
And I was out watching a man doing falconry that day. had the falcon or hawk with the glove, and I was seeing myself as that bird, being able to look down on the earth grids and see the whole country. So then I got, oh, I guess I need to go to truck driving school so we can be over the road truck drivers, which I did. Okay, so that took a while. It was not easy. Backing that thing up isn't easy. Double clutching wasn't easy. I mean, my husband's able to drive and not have to use the clutch. He could do it by the sound, but it was a mission, and I knew I had to do it, and I knew it's how we'd see the country, and I'd get these codes, and I'd do whatever I was supposed to do. My cat Soda made it to 47 out of 48 states. The only state she did not make it to was Vermont. My husband and I had been there before. No, because when we went to Maine, we didn't have to go through Vermont. The only state my husband and I haven't been to is Alaska. So I've been to all 48 states. And when I went to Hawaii, I didn't get to go to Kauai, but I went to Oahu, Maui, and the Big Island. That was with my parents.
Wow.
Years ago.
Amazing that you've been to every state.
Yeah. So Arizona stands out because if you go from the southern tip of Arizona, down towards the Mexican border, and you go through Tucson and Phoenix, that looks on I-15, it looks totally different. I think it's I-15 to 25. One of those. I can't remember. Don't quote me on what goes.
I know what you're talking about, but from studying the map.
Down there, all the way up to Sedona and Flagstaff, and like Williams, because if you go to Williams, Arizona, you can see part of the Grand Canyon from Williams, and we did that. We did take days off there so we could see that part of the Grand Canyon. But I remember back then, especially Ron knew this and saw it even much more so than me. I would think I was tired. He was paying attention to seeing the super soldiers in the physical on the border of the tip of Arizona.
Oh, soldiers.
Yeah,
from the border thing, or like
yeah.
Yeah,
but like where they all look the same, kind of like where they're really buff and really in good shape, like special forces type of guys. And the other thing that was interesting is that there was one spot on I-10 that going towards the western part of Arizona, where there's all these rocks, and it looks like if you were a god or a demigod, and there was like a flood or there was some catastrophe, it looks like somebody just threw all these rocks and they're just all piled on top of each other. And even the Grand Canyon, when you see it, it looks like, how did water carve that thing? Like just all of a sudden, some catastrophic happened and it carved that, the way it looks. But going up to Sedona, before we made it to Sedona, we found like this spring or pond. I mean, I call it like, it was smaller than a lake, but bigger than a pond. And it was like the beginning of summer, or maybe like the early part of summer, but there was blackberries there. And I'm telling you, like nice, big size blackberries, like the Marion berries that you find out west, and they were delicious. And this water was so clean that you could swim in it. So we made a day of kind of like day camping, hiking, having a picnic, picking berries, and swimming. And when we were swimming, I see your praying mantis in the background. I've got a thing with praying mantises. This dragonfly came to me and was like landing on me. And he weighs like as much as a dime or less, but the energy that he had, and he had these bright green iridescent wings, and he was almost like orange and gold with like these goldish green bug eyes, and he started like talking to me. And I thought at this time, oh, I'm making it up. And I've had dragonflies and damselflies come to me. I mean, there's weird about this bug thing because I've had the praying mantis thing, and when they come to me, they're not just praying mantises, they talk. They're in this tiny body, but their higher self station of identity somewhere else is talking to me. So that's what was happening with this dragonfly, and it was a him, and he liked me, if you know what I mean. Liked me, and that was kind of weird. This bug liked me,
Yeah.
I'm making this up, and I know I wasn't, because when I would ask him a question, the response was so quick that I couldn't even think to make up a response that fast. And this was like some of the beginning of some of my gifts and things that were opening up to me of what I got from this area of
Oh,
Sedona. So to me, the waters are most powerful, more
yeah.
than the rocks. We're not able to really go. We could see Bell Rock and we could see some of those other ones that are talked about. But I had heard, according to Paige Bryant, there's a woman named Paige Bryant who's passed on that wrote a book called The Spiritual Reawakening of the Smokies. And this is one of the books that I got when I was learning about grid work, when I was learning about the different mountains, because she lived in Sedona and then moved to Western North Carolina. And that's how I learned about the different mountains in North Carolina, which I'll share more about. But so after we left that, spending the whole day with this bug, I mean, I don't know how many hours it was, but he would keep flying away and he'd land on different parts of my body. I mean, he was like
Wow.
really strong and really like doing this with his wings. And it's like, here's this tiny little guy, and he had so much energy. It was
Wow.
amazing how much energy that he was like putting into my body.
Oh, wow.
So then we went to New Frontiers. I don't know if you got to see that health
Uh-uh.
food store.
I didn't.
That's like a
New
landmark
Frontier.
in
Nope.
itself.
Mm-mm.
That's a landmark in itself. And, just bobtailed around, which is like dropping the trailer and kind of seeing Sedona. And, when we went to Flagstaff, which is totally different from Sedona. I mean, that's like high desert, right? The temperature's different, it's
Yeah.
cooler, and it's not that far, but it's so different. So it's amazing how in one day you can see the southern desert, which has the saguaro cactuses, and you could go as far north to the high desert that looks more like going to Wyoming or something, or Montana,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
which is
Yeah. Yeah, because
very
we by the Flagstaff airport, Katie said that it was like a place that the Sasquatch, the elders come there to do ceremony and stuff right there. So, and I could feel it when she said that. I got chills all over. So it's like a real powerful with all the trees and stuff right there. I think it's like the pine trees, right? And the pine trees there.
yeah,
Mhm.
those pine trees are very powerful. I remember, and
Mhm.
I remember the smell. And then there's another part of Arizona. It might be Winslow. I don't know. I think it's outside of Winslow. You know that song by the
Crater.
Eagles,
Mhm. Yeah.
"Standing on
Take
the
it
corner
easy.
of
Mhm.
Winslow,
Yep.
Arizona."
I know. Been
Yeah,
wanting to
me.
go there. I wanted
Did
to
you?
see all of that too. Like I want to go back and see all of that stuff and just go see it, not be at a conference. So
So you didn't get to go to Meteor Crater.
we didn't get to do anything. Just stay there at the conference and go close by, to the places close by, and that's all. Yeah.
Meteor Crater was so interesting because it's so quiet that your head will hum. The ringing in my ears from the quiet, because it's like that meteor or whatever that struck that to create that, it still has a resonance and a
Yeah.
tone that
Mhm.
you can feel. And
Yeah.
if one goes there, to me that looks like where they filmed the moon landings or any of
Oh,
this Mars rover stuff. To me,
yeah.
it looks like that
Yeah.
area.
Yeah, something like that. Like they could replicate that, huh? Like the in that on a stage or something, whatever, too.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Did you go
So,
to
but
the Four Corners though? You went to like the New Mexico and stuff too, or what?
all of it, New Mexico. So in New Mexico, we used to love to go to a place called the Firewater Bed and Breakfast, which is in a place called Truth or Consequences, New
Wow.
Mexico. It
Mhm.
has the hot springs water actually piped into the room. And it was very interesting because there was a UFO feel there. I don't, it's not that close to Roswell, but there was like a UFO feel. And then there
Mhm.
was the giant truck stop. There was the Sky City Casino, the Zuni Reservation. We did
Yep.
all the, and some of the rocks there. I remember rock climbing in bare feet, and there was a rock that actually looked like Tony the Tiger. You know how Renetta Jones would talk about these different rocks and how they have different things going on. Like it could be some uh, demigod from the past sitting at a computer that's in stasis, and it got frozen in this rock. Well, you can feel all that kind of stuff out there, those
Yeah.
rocks, and see all these faces in the rocks. Whether it's like one, I remember that you come in, it looks like an eagle or a
Yeah.
hawk It's right when you come into like in the Albuquerque area.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Colorado, that was very interesting to go to parts of Colorado, like on I-70. At one time in the wintertime at 10,000 feet, we couldn't decide whether we're going to put chains on the truck or not put the chains on. It's like, okay, do we put these on? Do we not put them on? Do we put? But we had to put them on. But it was called Loveland Pass. But there's so many beautiful areas, you know, Vale, Aspen. Went to all of them, you know, all
Wow.
these different places.
Mm-hmm.
Breckenridge, went through all of them. But then there was a place outside, you know, way on the other side of Denver, getting close to Salt Lake City, where we, you know, there was water and hiking trails and you could park the truck, and there was an apricot tree. And we were just able to pick all these apricots and they were delicious.
Wow. Wow. And you saw Utah as well? You went to Utah?
Utah, Salt Lake City was very interesting because all that Mormon stuff is very Masonic. And we
Yeah.
met a man named, I think his name was Rob Logan. He's probably passed on by now, but he was like, he was a Mormon, but he was getting into this whole thing that they believe that they own they're going to get their own planet when they leave here or something. It's like they create their own world. I don't know. It was some weird, more metaphysical, not Mormon sounding at all. And then we got to listen to the pipe organ and walking through the area that looked like Revelation 22. There's like a whole thing of in the Bible, it talks about like the tree of life and the river on both sides. It's like the whole place where we were walking through it at night, looks like it was made after those passages. And then there were some other weird synchronicities because we used to listen to Art Bell
Mm-hmm.
and George Norrie to keep us awake on XM radio.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
truck. And I had tried to order a book because I'd heard Zachariah Zitchin on Coast to Coast, and I wanted to order, because my grandmother had the 12th planet, I wanted to order the Lost Book of Enki. Well, I tried for months to order that book. Well, it actually fell off of a shelf in a Barnes and Noble when I was in Salt Lake City. And
Oh.
there was all this stuff about Tiamat, and this is before I knew anything about Ashiana Dean, Lisa Renee, any of that stuff. I felt like I was connected like to this whole story of Tiamat and Maldek and you know, Tara, as far as the fragments. Like I could see these celestial bodies almost like as a personality in a way. It kind of like there was a Marvel movie about that. I think it was called what was it called? It was one of the Marvel movies where it was like all these people made up a planet, and but if this one planet came to life and became like a god, it would like kill the people or whatever. You know what movie I'm talking
Mm-mm.
about? I can't
No.
remember that. But
Yeah. Mm-mm. I
yeah.
don't remember which one. Yeah. But that's I just still want to go there. So I don't know. It's still something in my heart that I want to go and just take time to just be go slowly though. I don't want it to be like a rush
Well,
experience, you know?
it shouldn't be rushed at all.
Mhm.
It should be.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like something I've ever since my awakening. I've thought I want to go to Shiprock and see Shiprock because I'm like called to go there. And then it's like with the ant people, I'm connected with the ant people. And so it's like a guardian of that land of the four corners. I've always wanted to go all in that area and just explore everything, you know. So I like all of Arizona and some maybe even Nevada, and even kind of some California, like Joshua Tree area, you know, but then some of Utah and Colorado, some parts of there too. So kind of all of that area I still want to go to and just. I don't know how I'll get there to be able to go and like see all of it, you know, because it's a lot to go explore. But yeah.
I remember Calico, California as a little girl, and that was a mine. And when they had those figures in there, I thought those were real dead people because I could
Oh.
feel spirits in the land there from the people that died in those mines. And I had some friends in the southern part of Arizona called Yuma, and they actually have a mining museum that they made called Castle Dome, and that's really interesting. That's
Wow.
right in the middle of Coyote Land and the saguaro cactuses. I mean, you could feel the ancient
Yeah.
spirits and ancestors of the land. It's very interesting.
Is
But then going
Sedona
to
the only place that has the that vortex though? Like, cause is the other parts of Arizona they're calmer or so, and it's just Sedona that has the vortex?
I think they have different things, but I've heard now, I don't know. So let me share with you when I did a remote mission years ago, because a friend of mine that lives in South Carolina, she was saying Sedona needed some clearing, and we were actually doing, remote viewing of the area of, I don't know if it was Bell Rock or Cathedral. I can't remember the names of where we were looking. It was wherever she told me to look and say, what are you getting? And I was seeing like vampires under the ground, like these dark spirits that were being held against their will, like almost like paid mercenaries, like they're there to do a job and they just want to move on and they need help moving on, but they're stuck. It's like their consciousness units are stuck. And I saw the same thing in Puerto Rico in this cave, not far from where they created the chupacabras in a
Yep.
lab.
Mm. Wow. Mm.
Same type of thing, but they did rituals there because you could see the leftovers of the stuff that they left on the ground for the negative rituals that are holding beings against their will, because sometimes, I mean, I know we know time is all simultaneous and things go on forever. I know it was kind of disturbing when Drago was saying the other day, like the SSP, these programs, they don't end, they keep going on. I'm like, what do you mean there's no relief? It doesn't
Yeah. Mhm.
end.
Well, the fractal of our consciousness, they have those, like that's like they own those aspects of us that they've created, so that
Right.
continues on and on and on, like that. I don't ever know how that will even end, because they own those consciousness. I mean, unless we could blow everything up or something, but then that they probably have backup of us someplace else too. So um, yeah, I don't know. But I know that there's other aspects of us that continue and go on, like us here, we don't that's other aspects of us within the programs. So yeah, I know we don't continue on the loop. We're here for our own mission. Yeah.
Right. You said you saw something of me I'd like to hear about.
Yeah, so the today I was just meditating and asking like um you know are there any other aspects or anything like that for Missy. So I saw in because I have an aspect in the Black Manta program, and the Black Manta, the Marvel Black Manta or however, but this is different. This is like the Black Manta is like a ship, so it's a that manta, how it looks like a um I guess it's like a ship or something. But I had seen before that Rob has like a base. It's in the ocean on like the bottom of the ocean or something like that. Like Rob had his own base, and he would go out in a manta ship, scouting out, trying to find like lost um survivors, because uh, there's like a fishing boat. This is what I seen for me, and then so I found you were there as well today. But so like this fishing boat, and it's just like a just sitting there in the ocean, like it's in the Gulf of Mexico, and so it's like these pirates that are nasty, dirty, and then they have like a monkey, a little spider monkey, and then they've captured like six, maybe four, five, six kids, and they're like in these cages under inside the boat. And then they take one out, and then they put him in this chair, like the Montauk chair, but it's not like technology wise. They just like it's an electrical chair, and they electroshock the kid, and then they also inject them with aquatic DNA, dolphin, octopus, all this different. They have these kind of different things, and they're just seeing and testing if what you'll do. So then they toss the kid into the water, and then so I guess maybe the kid might drown, then they wake up and then they're different. Maybe they have that power or something of a dolphin or something. But with that DNA, then they can go find Stargates. So that's what they're supposed to be going to go do, and that's monitored, I guess, within the program. So it's some sort of manta, black manta program. And so I seen you there too, where they took you out. It's like a young girl, like you look, about 7 or so, and then they set you in the chair and then inject you with just different octopus maybe or something like that, and then they just throw you in the water, and then the same thing, and then you go and you hide, and then try to find a Stargate. They track it. So I seen that today, and then also there's a base um that they have there underwater, like on the ocean floor or something that might be cloaked. And so you can go in. I seen you going into there, and it's like really high tech, and it's like open doors with your consciousness or your DNA or something. Like the door opens, and then it's like a whole room. It looked like a movie theater that size, all clones in containers of you. They're just empty vessels of you. And then in the main area, in the main center of the room, then is you, like your consciousness stored in a jar kind of container thing. So you're in there and you're walking around and you're looking at all of that, of all of them. It's like rows of you. So I think they just kind of they do, I guess they're doing that, or they did someplace that they have that stored of all your consciousness, and then copies of you. So I just seen you because that's what I recognized, but I'm sure that they could change it to look like something else. So yeah, that's what I seen.
Wow.
Hmm.
I can feel that. And I remember in Harry Potter, there was an episode where they put them in the water and they had like fins and different things like mermaid jeans or
Hmm.
whatever, dragon, and they had to survive in the water. So,
Yeah, you had to go find a portal. You had to go search for it. So I guess you I don't know, maybe we just know where to go, or but Rob, I just seen Rob just kind of going around trying to help him find some of the us that are in the water, because some of us don't go and try to swim. We're just hiding, because we've been released, and we didn't die or drown or nothing like that. So we're just kind of hiding. So he's picked up several, and then he takes us back to his base, and we just, I guess, survived there or something.
and
But
Rob was a surfer, and so was I, and
oh,
my
okay.
husband. Yeah, so I used to be pretty good surfing. I almost drowned a couple times on jet skis and surfing because of rip tides. But yeah, I always had this thing. And one time I had this like awake dream when I was in Fort Lauderdale, where this humming pulled me to half asleep, half awake to this underground thing of this crystal, these like big giant magenta crystals that would pulse and have sound. This was like one of those dreams, it isn't a dream because you can smell and you feel like you're
Hmm.
there.
Hmm.
And it was like you have a tail and you also have legs, and they're like white roundhouses. We have a roundhouse now which is called the Deltec, but these were like white roundhouses with pillars on stilts, but in the water, almost like
Yeah,
Maldives. Like
yeah, yeah.
if you go to
Hmm.
the Maldives, they're their houses are actually in the water. So this is that
Yeah,
kind of a thing where you'd swim into your house and then you'd take an elevator up, or then it
yeah,
would go underneath the ocean floor into like a cave base under the
yeah.
ocean that was like a tunnel system that would go across to who knows where.
Right. So that's kind of how it was then, like that, with his house was Rob's, I guess, station, because he had like a big window or something like that looked into the ocean there, but it was all white, and it was on like a cliff or rock or something like that, because he had to go under the house right there, and it was on like those steel
I've
things.
been to that place many times. I always wondered if there was one of these places in North Norway, like it always, the North Pole area.
Oh,
Like,
hmm.
I got that there's one that's like cold. It's some kind of
Oh,
like German, Norwegian thing, because did I tell you about I don't know if I told it with you or with Julia or somewhere, where this is a thing that's come is why do they set you up with a partner that they have you pretend to be married, but you're not married for some kind of spy mission?
Because
That's
you
what
blend in. You blend in as a couple, like that. You can pretend and stuff, like play the role easier, you know. Hmm.
because in real life, this one couple was a couple for a while, but they were of difference in age. They're not together now. They got together because it was karmic. But I saw them, good friend of mine. It was a spy mission I was sent in. I didn't get the notes to know why I was sent there and what side, but it was something to do with Russians. Okay, so I don't know if I was American. I just know I was not Russian because one of my friends who is Russian, and then she got the, you know what, this thing, we became not friends anymore, but she loved my previous cat Soda. And she had on a hat that looked across between a witch's hat and like an Amish hat, but her face, if you turn her head around, there was another face on the backside. That's called something like a jester thing. And her team, we were there. I mean, on some versions of her, she's on the good side. Some she's on the not so good side. But for whatever reason, she was on the not so good side. And I'm not connected with her anymore. But in this dream version, she was not on the good side. But my friends, I was there for this fake wedding. I thought I was just there for the wedding. And all this stuff comes out like it's like a Las Vegas thing with girls kicking their legs up, like in Vegas with slot machines and drag queens and all this stuff, like some kind of like James Bond, whatever. And then they're like, and then they break out into this whole thing that's, with, these unaliving and all
Hmm.
this kind of stuff
Wow.
going on. And I'm like, oh my God, I thought this was when they're like, you didn't get the memo? You didn't get the notes of what this really was about? You don't know why you're here?
Like a
And I'm
spy
like, no.
mission, then, huh? It was like a
Huh?
spy, like an undercover spy mission or something, huh? Like you
And I
went
have
on.
a lot of dreams like that. A lot of dreams. There was one recently with another friend. They tried to pair me up to be married to somebody else. And my husband knew that that was okay.
Yeah.
I mean, because it was a mission. And I'm like, I wasn't good with like pretending to be something I wasn't in these missions.
Oh,
So maybe it's because the personality of me is
yeah.
becoming aware of it. And
Right.
it's not truly aligned with my higher self to pretend to be something I'm not. I think
Mhm.
that's what it
Yeah.
means.
It's just it is because like in the when you're in that, then you're in another, like a clone body, and then another fractal of your consciousness is being utilized in that mission, and then so you're out there working and everything and doing that, and then that clone, or that's programmed to do the mission only, so they don't even think, they just know that's it, so there's
What
no.
is the program called where they extract your consciousness and put it in clone bodies? What is that? Does that have a name? What that's called? Because I think that's what they've absolutely done with me. They've
Yeah.
taken my consciousness because they want to see how my consciousness reacts in different situations and what it
Mhm.
can do with remote viewing and psionic capabilities and things like that. I think
Yeah.
that's what it's
Yeah,
doing.
they do that to all of us, like when you're little and then you're taken, you're abducted, and the military abducts you, and then so they're going to take all your genetics and copy everything, and then copy your consciousness. Then they just store it like in, I think it's like on a computer, and then some say that it's like in containers, so it's some high tech thing, like where they can, because it's not like your brain or nothing. So it's like all your stored memory and information, everything about you and your DNA and all of that. So they're gonna keep that, and then they keep a copy of it. Then they put you back, and then they own all of this part now of you. That they own that copy of your consciousness, and they can sell it. They can sell a piece of it. They can put it in an alien. They can put it in a anything at all. Like they can make any kind of avatar body and put your a fractal of your consciousness in that, and then you would live out that life, and then once it's returned, then you gain that memory. You'll feel kind of that memory of it because it's still connected to you.
And then the eggs too, they took the eggs. Did they
Yeah.
take your eggs too?
Yeah, they do. That's the hybridization program where they're going to be creating more it's going to be mostly, I think, with the Zeta, with the grays. I'm not sure exactly because there's more than just one type of gray, so they're just wanting to make their race grow, so they're taking your eggs and then in your genetics and mixing the eggs, your eggs, and probably another species eggs too, or however they do with the mixing, and then create a baby, an embryo, and grow that probably on the ship. Or um, they also had like the cows and stuff, like the the uterus of the cow is kind of similar to human females. So I think that's why they kept the cows too in the underground because they would grow the species in the uterus of the cow as well.
Chimeras, that's like the Hathor race. I never had children in this life. I never wanted to. I always knew about the forced breeder program. I could feel that the people were talking about
Mhm.
forced breeder programs, predator, prey, victim,
Oh yeah,
victimizer. Before I read any of that stuff, I knew it.
yeah.
But I had a dream that I gave birth to a cat.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Then it probably is so. You just maybe seeing a little bit of a different version. Because maybe some mix of a cat. So I don't know. I mean, you didn't give it, but it was probably maybe a memory of one of your clone bodies that they've made. So but I think a lot of them are with the underground bases and everything too. They'll just grow the um the embryo in the tank, and they'll just grow a whole new baby, or they'll grow a whole new clone, with your DNA. So they can do anything with your DNA. They'll take the all kinds of samples of your DNA, so they have everything on there. I just see it like as a computer. So they have every little aspect of you. And then they can mix you with another person to create this kind of person now, you know? So, and then with the super soldiers and stuff like that too, then they'll just mix people's consciousness, and then create a maybe like with the reptilian or insect or whatever, and then they have a different kind of breed, a hybrid breed. So yeah, and I know that we've probably done the breeding, the genetics program. It's like genetics of that. So mixing different DNA.
I think I had this talk with Julia. She kind of saw that. She's the scientist. I
Hmm.
think I was in the Chimera because I always identified with that movie Tron,
Hmm.
where being one of the writers of the original program, from another universe, and it broke down and feeling like some kind of guilt and having to come into this incarnational process to fix whatever went rogue and
Hmm.
screwed up. And there's a level of, I feel that too, like there's
Yeah.
some kind of responsibility that's why I'm here.
I
That's
was
why.
seeing like I was an ant person before on Mars, and I had remembered this is like a dream I had, and and I seen James Rink as an ant and Tyler Kowal as a ant being as well. And then but there was like bombs or stuff hitting our colony, the ant colony there, and then we was all scrambling everywhere to find like cover and stuff like that. And I think that we probably opened up some portal to teleport maybe to Earth or something like that. To because I know um, that I have an ant uh, being. I've been an ant being in the Arizona area, in um, New Mexico, all the four corners. Like all of that whole area. The From long time ago though, like, but because it was like an advanced, so it was like an advanced ant race that came, and then they were going to be uh helping the Earth people to prepare for like a copy of Mars almost in a way, because it was going to be happening again, on Earth, something like that. So it was like, but it was like a start over. So something like that. And so coming up to the other, because it's like a different, um, it's not like a where they could just walk up to the surface, because it's a different realm that they live in, a dimension, that the ants live in. So, and I think they had to wait until a certain time because it looks like cavemen people, so primitive time, and lead them under to their colony that they made now. And I've seen also that they had their own like vat things like that they kept some of the humans in so they could store them, so they wouldn't be exterminated, and then they would give them some of the ant genetics so then they could survive longer, down, because they would have to live underground there in a different realm, not earth anymore, not the surface anymore, because it was like destroyed. So I seen that. So yeah.
One
So yeah.
I knew actually when I went to the Mary Joyce talk, who wrote the books on the
Mhm.
Cherokee Little People and underground bases, who has the
Yeah.
Skyships Over Cashiers website. I met
Mhm.
her in Hendersonville at the courthouse doing a talk. This gal comes up to me and says, "You were in the Mars program." At that point, it
Oh
created a
yeah.
lot of
I remember you told me. Yeah. That woke you up, huh?
I had a lot of PTSD, but I've had so many astrologers and different people say, a lot of Mars for me and
Yeah.
Shala on Taurus and all that stuff. So nothing surprises me. But
Yeah.
I want to share, first of all, I want to share my crystal skull Shambhala, because Shambhala is a
Oh,
record
wow.
keeper, has a lot of information to give and receive just by being here.
Yeah. When
Has
did you get that? When did you get that one, or where and stuff like? Tell
I
me about it.
got quite a few years ago, 2009, after connecting with Joshua Shapiro. And it's been in contact with his skulls and with Max and some
Oh
of the
wow.
other famous crystal skulls. But it came from a store in Asheville area
Oh
in
wow.
West Carolina.
And
So I want to share. I
what do
also
you
wanted to
what does it say? What, any messages or anything like that?
right now it's the whole thing about the ant people and just resonating with the deeper understanding of what this is, that it's more taking in that information right now.
Yeah.
But it has information, something about one of the first things it showed me was things about the Yucatan. I mean,
Mhm.
Ron had
Yucatan,
watched
yeah.
the program and it was recording like everything that he watched. I actually saw it in its head. Right now
Yeah.
it's got so many memories going on that I don't know what it's saying in particular, but
Yeah.
it's letting you know that it wants to hear, and that's why I'm
Yeah.
bringing it out.
Yeah, it's like a recorder, like that kind of thing. So it records information in this time, like for its own memory. So I'll show this then, so the skull can see that too, so it can see that. I'm also recognizing the ant people, with making books and talking about the history of them as well. So this would be like a representation or aspect of me, and then the ant people meeting them, you know, but this is like an aspect of me that would be there in a time where, and then they're also infusing me with their downloads of information, history, remembering that I also have the ant DNA within me. Yeah.
And my neck just popped as you were turning those pages, so it's all up. I've been having some neck problems, and felt this big pop. I am still going to go to the chiropractor next week, but I needed that adjustment.
Oh
So
yeah.
I want
Wow.
to share something that had been disturbing to me that I couldn't share initially, but I feel fine with it now. A week after James Rink passed, I had a dream about James as a female
Mhm.
and sawing that he had to be a female in the programs too, like sort of an Orphan Black, to do some kind of balance between masculine and feminine.
Yeah.
Because he's like a high level being, but I just didn't want to come forward and say, oh, I see James as a female because,
Hmm.
and he was such a soft heart. And the funny thing is he really wanted me to embrace this side of myself when I would talk to him. And I was so afraid and I had so many blocks. And it's like, as soon as like December came around, I started becoming obsessed with this stuff. And I just had to know, it's like, I really want my memories at this point, and it's okay to have them. I feel safe with them now.
Oh yeah. It takes a while to feel comfortable to start talking in public and stuff too, and find your own words and how to even describe it, because you are like, how will I even put it into words and describe anything that I'm seeing and remembering and stuff? Because I just remember like pieces. So you just take your time with it, that's why I started drawing all this stuff, and then I would remember him in many of my experiences. And then we would do like a hypnosis session together, and he would go into that, and then I would look around and find more information. So then I would be on his show again, and then we would discuss everything that I found with that. So through that, we found a whole bunch of information. So, and he has been female, we've all been male, female, and alien, we've been everything. So yeah, it doesn't. It's just still a fractal of his consciousness, though. So it can be in any body at all. But I know that he has been with the programs and stuff. That's where I seen him at mostly. With being in the SSP and all that. So it's a lot of abuse stuff like that, or military training and stuff. But and then we've been on other places too, like a breakaway colony, as Brock and Jennifer. So, but I was sent in as Jennifer to go get Brock and bring him to Earth. So it was like the Earth needed his consciousness um. So we all kind of just go to like a soul tribe kind of thing, interacting and going through things and remembering each other. So it's
Mhm.
like you remember their energy signature. So
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, you feel very familiar to me.
Mhm.
And the cat program, I mean, because what I was going to share about my cat Freya, when she came to me, I was doing like these incantations just in a fun way, a magical cat book to Bastet. And then she happens to show up in the yard. So I called her in and she looked like a Russian blue. I've sent you pictures of her.
Yeah. Mhm.
And I said, "You're beautiful, but I can't have another cat." And then she shows up with her two daughters, and that was it. I kept all of them. And
Mhm.
sometimes she was like my mother, but I have memories of her as like one of my priestesses in Egypt. Like all the cats in Egypt were actually priestesses and part of my consciousness. Now, some of them not as awake. Of course, Soda and Freya were much more awake. And then Arthur is like the male version of Soda in a way.
Mhm.
He's like, in training for this like King Arthur piece, this whole thing to do with the Michael Mary lines and the awakening of Arthur and stasis, that he
Mm.
represents that, like
Oh
the
yeah.
Arthur, the Lion of Judah,
Oh
the
wow.
Sphinx, the things with all these Lear and cat beings. And Freya, one time I was in a lucid state, I was half asleep and half awake when I was in my old house in Fletcher, and Freya appeared to me as a tall white being, like a 12-foot tall
Uh-huh.
white Aaron
Yeah.
being.
Yeah, so she probably has like that aspect of her is probably the one that's in stasis, like in a giant stasis pod. So it's like, and then she's just projecting her consciousness into a cat that could be your assistant here and have the experience of this timeline with you to help you through it, to be kind of a recorder, a reporter, observer, and assist you and guardian as well. So it just is like a communication with her higher self, or however that's in a stasis pod. But she would have many of her aspects of these fractals of her out and doing other things too, not as just a cat, but as like maybe other um even on other planets and stuff. So they can do all of that. We do too. We do the same thing too. Yeah.
Yeah, because I've seen her as more actually human than cat.
Mhm.
Cat here, but like more like Lyran human cat. You know what
Right.
I mean? Like
Yeah.
that,
Yep.
like a two-legged alien type of
Mm-hmm.
being.
Like Liren. Yeah, that's
Back
probably
to
her.
these bug type of dudes. Like one time in Hot Springs, when I was in the Hot Springs area, when we were camping there, I've seen the praying mantises. The praying mantis was having a conversation, was on me and having a conversation too, and I knew it was that being. And that also happened in Chimney Rock years ago, which is where that Hurricane Helene went through. One of the areas that it went through was, yeah. So there's something with the praying mantis, which I think aren't they the
Mm-hmm.
genetic
Like
thing?
scientists, genetic teachers, they're like really high, um, interdimensional, and they're everywhere though, really, because they people see them on ships, and then they see them with the little grays, so they have the little grays that work for them. That's one of the programs, and then with the abduction and stuff like that, so people remember them in their abduction experiences. But I feel like those are like maybe their star family that's coming there to help them with the child with their DNA to help them advance, and to keep them rising up because they come back. The star family will come back and get them and upgrade them so they can keep moving up and clear them out, of all the density and stuff, so they can keep elevating and do their and fulfill their mission while they're here, So, but some people have seen it as a negative, but um because there are negative and positive to all beings, it's a frequency thing. But I mean, most people get scared because it's a big giant praying mantis, and how they move is different, and they don't have any emotion and stuff like that. So it's scary, and anything would be scary if it's coming in your room at night. It wouldn't even if it was like your kid, that would scare you. So I don't I guess that's why they make you black out or so. But I don't know why they just come in the room at night and do it. I wonder, because there's like so much fear created around that. So,
Right.
yeah, with the negative programs and stuff, with the negative abductions, and they feed off of that energy and everything too, that the person is feeling. So, yeah, I think that if it's a positive, then they probably aren't gonna appear like that. They probably would appear in a dream or something that's not gonna frighten you because they already
Or
know what will
the
frighten you.
little, the tiny ambassador. That's how they come to me,
Yeah, exactly like that. Mhm.
through their tiny ambassador. I've had that with many creatures. They do
Yeah.
that, and with the negative ones too. Like not all spiders are negative, but I've seen some spiders that were put there just to spy.
Oh yeah. Mhm.
They
Yeah.
were
Yeah, you
like,
can feel it.
and there's like, and then there'd be like red lights in the room. Like you'll see that there's no digital things, and yet there's these like red lights in the room. Have you ever had anything like that?
Not that I know of. Yeah, not that I'm aware of.
One time, what was bringing that in is this was before we were using much computer stuff, and my husband used to like to want to record coast to coast to go to work, right?
Mhm.
To
Yep.
listen to it, and he had a DC AC to DC converter, like what you'd plug in with the cigarette lighter thing, and had this in the house to for whatever, but whatever reason this DC plug-in thing was in the house, it was creating mini orbs and ball lightning things. So
Oh.
it was opening stuff up and seeing stuff in the house from having this device in the house. So we got rid of it, and a lot of that stuff went away because there was a
Oh.
time I was like seeing like tiny orb things. There was a time we would see more orbs, and we don't see them like we used to. Do you remember? I'd get a lot of orbs on camera, and I don't get orbs anymore. So I think something has shifted where we
Hmm.
don't get as much orbs.
Oh, okay. I had a night vision camera that I'd set up in the living room, and I mean, it would be like Grand Central Station. They go this way, and up, and then down. It was like a highway in there, and it was like all kinds of, so it wasn't dust, and here we live like right down the street is the cemetery, and then an abandoned church right in the lot behind us here. And people have seen, like remote viewers have seen the there's like these just different kind of alien beings that come, like lots of cryptid stuff. My dad has seen the Sasquatch in his mind. He's seen it like come up in an orb and then go up to the dog fence right here. And then I did hear the dogs barking, really like at something, you know. And then he heard and he saw, and then it went like rah, like that. And so when he told me, then I seen it was like a looked like a gorilla or something that did that, and then it went back down and then zoomed off. He saw, and then he even saw a Sasquatch. He said he saw it with his, like, he went out on the porch and he wasn't tripping or nothing like that, and he said he saw a Sasquatch just kind of jogging by the front, like right front of the house there, and he gave him a thumbs up, and he said uh the Sasquatch gave my dad a thumbs up, and then he was wearing like a Hawaiian button down shirt with shorts. And I was like, hmm. And he said he was like all hairy and stuff, and it was like in 3 in the morning or something like that, you know. And the dogs was out there, but they didn't run after it or nothing like that. Um, so he sees stuff like that, too. My dad does, yeah. And I hear the dogs barking, so something is, you know, I don't go out there with him and see it. Is this his own experience, you know? But yeah, that happens like twice. That's happened, and I can feel stuff too when I don't, I can just go outside and I'm not afraid of nothing, you know, because I think like I'm like a this person right here, this being, you know, with the wolf, like the black wolf. I can feel like I have that as a altar, and also another aspect of me, you know, is like that, you know. So I just feel like that's what I am when I'm in a serious mode or gonna take charge or whatever, you know. And no, so I'll go out there, and I've even seen when I was jumping on the trampoline, the black dog, he was like up on the storage container, like squatted down, watching me just like this. And then there was another one, just in my mind, you know, on the other container, watching me jump on my mini trampoline. And then I shape shifted into to this too, and we just took off running. We was racing down the street as fast as we could. So we like to race and see who could beat each other and go the fastest, run the fastest on the street. So we'll do that, and so I always do stuff like that with the dog, with the wolf, and it's the bipedal wolf, you know, and he's so fast when he leaps. It's a male too, so the version of me that is like an alter, as the black wolf is a male, but then sometimes I'll see like I do have a female, but it's both, kind of both. But most of the time it's gonna be like the male wolf that is when I'm taking charge or something like serious, you know. Uh, and then I'll see it even project out of me, you know, and then just take off running. And it motivates me to go run faster too, or walk faster, or keep going, you know. So, and it goes so fast that it needs so much. It's like one leap, two, three, four, and then it's back all the way around. Like it only took 4 leaps to walk around, and I'm like still barely around the whole track, you know. So it
Wow.
leaps. It goes really fast with the leap, like so fast. And that's how fast it runs. It's super fast. And so it needs lots of open space. And then I seen it even today. I seen it, my wolf, I was even climbing up the tree and hanging on, you know. So I think that happens where I just project out, and then I'm just kind of waiting on myself too. So I see that all the time. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And I've even seen him run across the road in my mind. I see it. It's a black wolf. And then I'm like I think if I seen like a black wolf, because we live out in southeast Oklahoma where it is Bigfoot, and the, you know, dog man and everything too. But I just was thinking, if I ever seen like a dog man or wolf or whatever in the road or across the road or standing in the road when I'm driving home or however, then I'd be like I'm you as well, or like I just connect with that thought that I had all of a sudden, some reason I had that, so I just connect with that and show them that I'm that as well. So like just to keep going, not even to like just don't even mess with me because I'm like that, like you as well, so I don't know. I get all kinds of stuff like that all the time, especially with the wolf. Yeah. I,
That's cool. That's definitely your Native American ancestry, I'm getting.
yeah, I'm Cherokee Wolf Clan for
Yeah.
sure, with that. So wolf, but because it's innate, and then also they use they are also replicated in the programs too as a wolf. But I don't see that that's controlled, that wolf. I'm talking about my innate abilities where I'm able to see the wolves in my
Oh,
mind. Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's like a shapeshifter.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And I just become it. It's not like I see myself shaping out of human form. It's just I'm just that. So it's not, some people say, do you remember it hurting? But it just does it really fast. It just is that all this, because it's like a overlay or something. So then I'm just that, and I just love to like spin the energy too, like a tornado, and like I will like do dances. I'll do dances with the other wolves and stuff too, like dancing around, like karate stuff like that, like we're doing karate moves, playing around and stuff, and there's like a tornado spinning around us. But it's like our psionic abilities and everything spinning, like that, like it's like a
Feel
big.
that as you say it.
Mm-hmm. It's
Yeah,
fun. I like. He's recording it. He's like, I got it. Oh, that's cool. It's part of you. It's a piece of you. Like this, you just needed more computers to collect the information because you were, like it's another aspect of you, an extension of you recording more information. Yeah.
You know what's funny? You know the Cocapelli, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Soda used to be the Cocapelli. She would like, and I've seen other cats do this, where she'd turn her body to the side and she'd run that way.
Uh,
But she was really the Cocapelli.
Yeah, isn't that funny how they do that? They're like, shh, and then they're like, like, mess with me.
How's the little lady doing
Uh,
now?
oh, she went outside too. So I seen her because it's been raining, so she wanted in this morning. And I let her out at 3 o'clock, and then she wanted back in like at 6 o'clock, because it was raining and stuff, and she's eating more, and all that. And yesterday she wanted back out, and then I was like, why do you want back outside for? And then she was like at the end of the car, watching the other cats walk by her. Like, you better not come over here and mess with me. And then I watched her, and she went like that, and she was playing with a rat she caught. And I said, I said, you better not be eating a rat. There's so all that nasty stuff, and the
Hantavirus.
huh?
That Hantavirus and that movie Ben. I downloaded that movie Ben. Remember that movie?
Mm-mm.
And
No.
the rat, that yeah, that Michael Jackson song. I haven't watched it yet, but
Yeah.
that
I did.
information is coming to me because I talked about it on Rob's show about a week ago. I don't know, this whole thing about, the rats like turning on people and stuff.
Oh,
Like,
yeah. Yeah. There's all kinds of because of the fields and stuff everywhere. So we got possums and all kinds of critters and stuff out there. Possum and not raccoon, but the um sometimes a skunk. Um, but what else is a possum, and what else would there be? Armadillo. Armadillo.
armadillo.
Yeah, so those, both of those, and um yeah, so that happens all the time. But the rats and stuff, they catch them, and then they catch birds too, and they just kind of um they, I guess they just eat whatever's in their head. I don't know. I just see the head off, like they decapitate it. So they must just eat the guts, or I don't know. But we just find uh there's 4 cats. Um, there's no, there's 5 cats now because we have the mom and then her 2 cats and the black cat and then the fuzzy. So we got 5 cats out there. And they're all hunters, so they catch all kinds of stuff. Yeah, crawdads and stuff because we got little holes in the ground too. So
Really?
they always run and then they get hyper and then they put their paw in the hole. Like running and catching stuff. So they're funny. But
Do
yeah,
you have prairie dogs out there
no, I had never seen a prairie dog.
or groundhogs?
I hadn't seen groundhogs. Uh-uh. No. I
I
just see
think
like the
would live in
crawdad.
Arizona. Yeah.
We got like crawdads because we got the mud thing. We got a lot of ants too. There's all kinds of ants here too. So I know that I think maybe the ants come here because of me or something like that. I do. I feel because we got big black ants and then little bitty stinger ants and then some other kind. So there's several different colonies of ants and they live in like the tree area and then by the mailbox, so they're all over the place too. So those ants and that's what I see in the crawdads mostly, and squirrels and a lot of birds, ravens. You'll hear the crows, because I started feeding them. I get a big old uh, bird, like a big bag of bird feed, and then lay it on the chest over there. Like I just open it up and spill it all out all over the ground and stuff too. All kinds of squirrels now and birds. So I said, in exchange, you protect the land. So I'll say that. I'll keep saying that. In exchange, everyone protect the land. You protect the land now. I'm feeding you this, so you protect the land, and I make like a perimeter around the property when I'm saying that. So they do. They're like, whatever you want, lady, you know, like something probably like that. But my favorite bird is a turkey vulture. Then I see them
Well,
all the
those are so
time.
interesting. Yeah.
I love turkey vultures. I love them. So I'll see them flying over and crows and ravens too. Um, but I don't see too many ships or anything. I don't ever really see any kind of spaceship stuff here. I don't know. I don't ever catch that. Um, I've looked up there and there's like stars and stuff, but I never see spaceships. Yeah.
Do you have a dark night sky? Is you don't have any light pollution, do you?
Not really. Mm-mm. It's pretty good out here, and you see the stars clearly, but there's just I don't know. I don't ever see it.
Elon Musk's, those Starlink. Have you seen that?
Not here. I didn't. Mm-mm.
One time, friends of mine, when we were staying here, I was fixing food. They said, "You got to come out here. It's a UFO invasion." They were all over our house. There was a bunch of them, but I knew
Yeah,
that's what it was because I
that
had
was.
heard shooting them up. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah,
I've seen stuff, but not as much activity as I used to see. Because now I know most of what I've seen is military stuff.
yeah. In Sedona, we did stay out like on the balcony area, and there are um there are the ships that move through the sky like that, real slowly. And so you just see like a dot though, so you don't see like a power up or a flash or
So
anything
far,
like that. Yeah, so
yeah.
it's just like them moving. So you'll see that kind of movement and
Can't
stuff.
see that. Yeah, and the reason you see that is it's reflecting off the sun when it's that far away.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes satellites too, though. It just depends if they're,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of space junk up there too. But
Mhm.
you know, go to places like Brown Mountain, Wiseman's View and the Linville Gorge, which I was going to talk about, circling back around to Paige Bryant, who wrote that book, The Spiritual Reawakening of the Smokies, and when she talks about Table Rock and Hawksbill, and I actually did a segment on Weird or What about this, and also a movie called I Saw the Light, where I'm featured in it, talking about the Brown Mountain Lights, which it's like ball lightning type of plasma that's made from the mountain, because
Oh,
there's a cave in there. So when the water runs over the Linville Gorge, it acts like a capacitor, and
yeah.
it just has to discharge and it creates that energy. And then that can be used by some interdimensional being.
Oh, wow. That
Plasma is there.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
seen ships, and I've also seen the stars move. Like one time I was looking at what I thought was Spica, and it wasn't, I mean, it was Spica according to Google Map, but stars supposedly don't move. But I've seen stars move. I've seen them disappear. One time in my hot tub, laying back in the hot tub on a clear sky, I saw four stars in the Big Dipper just disappear.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so another time in South Carolina, Walterboro at the pool. One night I'm looking at the moon, it's a crescent moon, and the crescent's going one way. Well, the next night, the points are going the other way, and that was around the
Weird.
time
Yeah,
people were seeing like two suns and two, so nothing is as it appears
I
or
know.
seems.
Yeah, so it's so I don't know. I'm not really that. Maybe that's why it doesn't appear to me because I'm not so excited to just because I can't. If they don't like flash, like do something like this, then just seeing like it move, I can't really see that far, I can't see it, so I'm like I don't know, and so I just it's really not, I'm not so interested in that. And now maybe if I had like the night vision goggles on and was seeing stuff,
To see. Yeah, that's what I have. I have those. And
yeah,
I've taken people out,
yeah, then that's fun, to do it that way. Then
on
you,
did it too. We saw it one time. We were near Guantanamo Bay, and I saw some kind of craft. I say give birth to like three other craft because it like shot out in formation. It was like a
hmm,
mothership. These other craft just came out of it. So it's
yeah,
like
that
they
would
were,
be cool.
yeah.
Hmm. Like
But
that's
that's
cool.
military too, because you can tell when it's
Mm.
strategic moves. It's probably military stuff.
Oh
You
yeah,
know.
'cause it just moves like in a straight thing and it doesn't. 'Cause if it's plasma ships, it's gonna be like that, right? Pulsing and stuff, like it's 'cause it's alive. So something like that. So I figured there in Sedona, it's mostly going to be military stuff because, well, the place that the conference was at, it was a high school and with the auditorium and everything there. Well, um, that Saturday, then I was feeling the frequency hit so heavy, and my whole body was hot, like a microwave heating up inside. And Colleen was like, "Your face is so red, like you need to like get a drink and calm down or whatever, And so then I was just like really low energy, and I was like, "Aren't you hot? Don't y'all feel something? I feel hot inside." And I had Phil Barrow helped me he gave me some Reiki and stuff, and he said that I had like an implant. He fried an implant on my head right here, and he said he saw a reptilian eye open up right there. So, and then he gave me Reiki twice, two different times, because I was getting hit. I was feeling it so much on Saturday. And then, so the next day I was prepared. I was like armored up. I put all my light symbols on my arms and shielded myself. I was more prepared for that place. But it was like that mountain behind the school had a military base in there, under there. And I did an interview with Tyler, and he said that JP had confirmed that there was a military base behind the school, and they did the UFO technology, back engineering the technology. So I was like, oh, he told me that, and then I was like, they come and use these kids in the program. So like all these kids are most likely going to be in the program, and then they abduct them in the night and take them to the base there and take their DNA, and because they're probably more alien since
Oh,
they're
yeah.
yeah, and then so they probably have the codes and everything to be there, or they make them have it, they clone them, and then they give them the codes, and then they use them there. All kinds of stuff happening with that place. So and then their parents and everything too. So um yeah, that whole school is like under a
Oh,
net. Like it's like a net of frequency, of a low pulse frequency. Yeah.
oh my God. Oh, those poor kids. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm hot all the time. I'm always hot. I
Yeah.
can't take it right now. It's so hot. The sun. I'm praying for rain. I think I'm going to get out and do a rain dance tomorrow if it doesn't. We need discharge. We need the
Yeah.
rain for discharge, to clear.
Yeah. To clear out the density and stuff and the thick
Yeah.
air and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
but I was feeling it inside, like the heated up and everything. I could feel I was being like targeted. But I asked other people and they were also feeling it too, so it wasn't just me.
that's
So,
sure.
yeah,
When
so
you groups together, that's what happens. That's why a lot of times I don't do groups. I mean, I don't go to these
yeah,
conferences much anymore. I mean,
yeah,
and when I did, I kept to myself. I loved it on the ship though. When I did
yeah.
the cruises, it was a lot of fun,
With Misha, is that with Misha and stuff too?
No, this wasn't Misha. This was Divine Travels. Her name was Susan Shumsky. That's where I actually met Laura Eisenhower. I mean, well, I didn't meet her there, but I did a cruise with her, and there was a
Hmm.
lot of interesting people. There was
Hmm.
like one called The Conspiracy. There was one that was called the Cruise into Spirit. It was like psychic people, just all these different speakers and things.
Yeah,
Just different
yeah.
people.
I think I like to kind of go. Um, I mean, I do like to meet new people and stuff like that too. But usually it's going to be targeted and stuff and monitored and all that kind of thing. So the experience is going to be a little bit altered than what it would be if you went by yourself and had a good time,
Or just
So,
with a smaller group, like off the radar.
yeah.
Like you didn't put it out as a function, you got together with other people and then you could let them know after the fact what you did.
Yeah. Yeah, 'cause it was I mean there was like all kinds of insiders there like JP and Emery Smith and Ishmael Perez so they were all there. So that and already that's going to bring in a lot of targeting or
Mhm.
military. So they already knew that they were there. So
Right.
yeah, it was yeah, I so to compare that with Bryant's in Florida, it was completely different, different places too. So I had a lot more fun in Florida because I didn't have to stay at the table. I could go around and we could leave and do stuff and have fun. And so it was a lot more freedom, which I prefer, and um,
Where was that workshop in Brian's?
that was the Full Disclosure Now conference in Florida
No,
in
but what
20
town was it in?
St. Pete's Beach.
Oh, that's right. For
Yeah,
some reason, I think it was more near Siesta Key, but it was on the West Coast. So you did get to see that water there, the
yeah, really
still part
pretty. It
of
was
too.
nice. It was really nice there, and I had a lot of fun and stuff too. So that was better for me, the energy of the place.
And you got to meet Rob.
Yeah, Rob was there and everybody um and a lot of the people that were in Sedona too were there. I got to see Sean and Isha there too, and then so they were in Sedona. So I liked seeing Sean all the time because I seen I asked him. So I see like I'm like your mother and a few memories that I have. So he was searching for it, and he said like we was mermaid before, but I seen him also as like a human like son, too. So I feel that with him as like a motherly, like I just
Oh
want to
yeah,
like hug him all the time.
and stuff. He's a hoot. He was funny, and I love. He's got all those artifacts. I mean, talk
Yeah,
about crystal skulls and
yeah,
interesting artifacts that he has from Mexico. That
yeah,
is amazing.
yeah,
All that.
yeah. He had some of the stuff too. He'll just bring it and show people, what he carries him around and stuff, what he could bring there. and uh and I think they did like a talk or something, and then so he brought them to that too, you know. But yeah, I didn't get to see a lot of the speakers because I was out at my table there, so I didn't prefer that. So now I know what I do and don't prefer. So that's an experience that I had to
Sometimes
go through
it
to
works out with
understand.
the speaker table is like in the back of the room, so you're hearing the speaker
Yeah,
while you're at your
should be.
table. That would
Sh-
be ideal.
Yeah, that's how
They
it
don't.
was at Brian's, because it was like a conference room, a big conference room, like a buffet room, big people where they could have the buffet, like the dinners, with the round table thing. But it was just all chairs in the middle, but the tables lined the perimeter, and people could set up there. So that was a lot better, so we could hear the speakers. So, because I missed every one. I didn't hear anyone but Tone and Rion. And then the first day, Friday because we hadn't set up yet. So yeah, that's the only thing. Or they should set up like a TV so we could at least watch what's going on, you know.
Yeah,
So
that's
yeah, so that's something. But I enjoyed seeing the scenery and all of that. When we got to leave for lunch, then I had the most fun. And then at night when it was over, then I had fun too. So
yeah.
yeah. So yeah, um, so that it was okay to experience it and stuff, but I just like to be outside. You know, I that's what I prefer is
When you go
outside.
there and you've spent that money to go there and fly there, that's what you want to do. You want to
Yeah.
connect with the land.
Yep.
It's great to meet the people, but especially connect with the land.
Yeah, because there wasn't enough time to do anything because we had to be inside, you know. And so yeah, there's a learning thing, and definitely spent a lot of money on preparing for the conference and buying the stuff and all that. And then there wasn't a whole lot of people buying anything, you know. So uh, we didn't make hardly any money on that. So it's a learning lesson for sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely
yeah,
so.
I think people buy a lot of things on Amazon now because
Mhm.
first of all, people don't want to lug things on airplanes because they charge for weight,
Yep, yep, yeah,
stuff that you have to carry. Like I try to just do carry on, I mean,
yeah,
I think Southwest allows a certain,
yeah.
I don't
It's
know if
50
they,
pounds. You can check a bag for 50 pounds, and then you can carry it, put it in your bag, and carry it on, and they don't weigh that, you know. So, but they, you know, if you have heavy stuff in there, I think it's okay. You know, you just have to carry it around the airport. But yeah,
yeah.
I didn't. That's okay. I donated a lot of stuff at the end to like Tyler and Lily and Katie and to Phil and then so I was just giving a lot of like my rock art and stuff too away so I wouldn't have to ship it back home, you know, because
Oh,
I
did
didn't.
you get to see the Mitchell Hedges skull when you were there?
Well, if you wanted to see it, it's $300 to go see it, to sit with it. So you would have to pay that to get like a reading or
You didn't
session.
see it. You didn't get to see it. That's crazy. You went to this conference and didn't get to do.
It
I
wasn't
can't.
it wasn't there on the table, nothing like that. It says three sign up and it's $300 to have like a reading with the skull and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought he would bring it out when he spoke.
Maybe he did, but I didn't. He did when Lily was doing the sound bowl thing too. So, but I didn't get to see that part of it, you know. So,
This one
uh,
has been in contact with Joshua Shapiro's skulls and who's been in contact with the Mitchell Hedges skull because his wife that passed on, Katrina, got the name for the female version, which was called Rosalita. I got the name too. Um, it was like three people that got the name for this skull, and I was one of them. It has the detachable jaw and everything,
yeah.
but she also got the codes that it was called Estrella, that it had a female version. And then I know somebody else, a guy named Christopher Timms, who was with Anna Mitchell Hedges when she was still alive. So I was around him that was around that skull. But this one's been with Max and with
Mm,
Shana Ra and some of
yeah.
these other ancient skulls and
Yeah.
all Joshua's skulls that have been with all of them because they all record. But I didn't know that about Bill
Yeah.
Holman to pay to sit with the skull. I had no idea any
Yeah, I
of
didn't
that.
either. I just would walk around and just see what people had out and stuff like that. But and then I just seen his sign up sheet. It was like a big piece of paper thing with sign up and it's $300, you know. So,
Wow, that's
yeah.
different.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, "Wow, that's a lot of money, you know, to sit with that." So I don't know, 'cause I don't always feel stuff from something that has had a lot of interaction with people and
Well,
everything
that's the
either.
problem. That's
Mhm.
the problem. But Max, it was a calling. It was a different time and a
Yeah.
different place, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, and it's
Not
more intimate, or it's kind of a smaller group or something like that. So it's kind of different, in that way, with bringing or interacting with, maybe if it's just a Max the Skull event or something, something like that. But still, like, I connect with things like in nature, more when it's just a pure
really.
frequency, and not so much. Uh, other frequencies and stuff.
It becomes too much
Yeah,
interference, too high,
yeah,
too much electrical energy. To me, it's not yin enough. It becomes too yang for me.
yeah. Even
I
like
have
Sean's big their skull, you can feel it and stuff like that. You can feel it's a big energy, and it's heavy and stuff. And so, but if you had time alone with it, then you might have some interaction. But just sitting there when everybody else is with you, then it's not. Or if you're even being, having a reading or whatever, I don't know. I just have to have it a different way. It can't be like you have to do this and this and this and this. I'm like, okay, then I'm not gonna do all of that.
can't either because I get fried too easily. My nervous system gets fried when I'm
Yeah,
around a lot of that. Is
yeah,
what happens.
yeah, yeah. It's too
It's like
much.
the days I used to do wine tasting. You taste one, two, three wines, and they all taste the same. So when
Yeah.
you're around all these frequencies, then you can't differentiate anymore
Mm-mm.
because you're done. You're just like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm like that for sure. And I know that you said you're Scorpio and Cancer moon, and I'm Cancer sun and Cancer moon. So we kind of feel everything,
and so
and
you have to, like go be in your own energy and
we like to
relax.
be alone a lot, right? You like to be alone. Yeah.
You need a lot of downtime. I need a
Yeah.
lot of
To
time.
yeah, I have
Yeah,
to have a lot of alone time to
I've got
recharge.
Virgo rising, but he can go be around people and it doesn't drain him. Like,
Yeah.
well, if I'm around people, I get drained
Me
very
too.
easily.
Yeah, I do so much. I mean, I'm Sagittarius rising, but still, I got other Scorpio, like the Scorpio North Node, and Uranus Scorpio, so and Cancer and Venus. So I got a lot of water and then fire, but yeah, the water, I get drained really fast, and
And
especially in a
even
place like that.
it looks like we're extroverted because my husband always thought, oh, you're extrovert. I always say I'm an extroverted introvert, which means I may appear to be extroverted when I'm around people,
Yeah,
but really I'm more introverted because I need a lot of time where
yeah,
I'm not
to recharge and to
tired.
process and to sleep and to just be by yourself and listen and do your own thing and all that. So yeah, I couldn't live with a bunch of people.
I need a
Uh,
lot of cat time is what I need.
Cat time, yeah, we're like cat people for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly it. I like to go off and be by myself and not have to hear someone tell me what they're thinking, And I'm just like, I just don't, um, you know, I just I just become overwhelmed, and like everything is just maxed out. I'm like maxed out, and I can't receive anything else until I have my alone time to be able to decompress all of this. And then I'm like, and now I need time to charge myself back up. So that it takes a while to come back around, where some people can just go on, well, with it the next day and then keep going. I'm like, that's not me. So
It took me a good 5 days to acclimate to South Carolina. Now, when I go to North Carolina, I'm just there and I don't need that that time because I resonate with the land there,
okay,
and I feel better. It's more yin to me. I mean, even when it's hot, it's not as humid and it's, more water and more quartz and things. But when I
yeah.
come here, it just hits me like boom. I'm just like down for the count,
Really?
exhausted,
Okay, yeah. So something must be taken.
especially when it's hot and like
Mm-hmm.
summertime. I do better in the winter here than this time of the year. It's too
Too
much.
muggy and hot. Yeah. 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 So it's like when I go to Arkansas to the crystal mine and stuff like that. I like that energy, and I don't feel drained. I like trees and stuff, really. The
How
Twin
far,
Creek mine, it's like a 2 hours max drive from here.
how far are you from like hot springs where the water is?
I think that's probably like 2.5 hours then, because it's close by there. Well, 3 hours to the hot spring area where the Crescent Hotel and stuff is. It's a 3 hour drive from here. So it's like 2 or 3 hours right there, all in that area. So it's really, it's lots of trees. I think I need trees and that too, and not just desert. I think the desert is too much blaze like on like so you're just like feeling processed, and it's like you're all like that, so you need time to.
Water. You need water too.
Mhm. Yeah, the ocean, I just love that. I love the ocean frequency or any kind of stream, and stuff that's relaxing for me, and that feels better to put my feet and cool down and stuff like that too, and just sit in the water. So I like
Yeah,
all of that.
much for me only because where it is here, it's so warm.
Mhm.
In the winter, I mean, to me, it's the peaceful like stream or waterfall where it's a consistent type of not changeable energy, like
Mhm.
it's a consistent waterfall or creek or body
Yeah.
of water that's like refreshing
Yeah.
is like the the best. I
Yeah.
must be a freshwater type of a mermaid or
Oh,
something.
yeah.
Like,
I'm not a lake person. I don't like the lake because I can't. It's too muddy, dirty, and you
oh, it
can't
has to
see
be
the
clean, it
bottom.
has to be like a pristine.
Mhm.
Like that we have some of those that the water is actually blue or green or emerald green. Has
Oh
to be
yeah.
like
Nice. Yeah.
brown.
Yeah. I don't like the lake, the brown. I don't like that at all.
And
And
yeah, and then there's the ocean that's like the pristine ocean. Like when we went to the Keys and we went to the Bahamas, it's like aqua,
I like
where
that. Yeah.
you can, yeah, exactly. You can see the bottom.
Yeah. I don't like the other where you can't see, where it's all murky and sharks and stuff like that. I don't you know, I don't care for that so much. So yeah, I don't know. I do like the clear though, and to be able to see, so that's relaxing for me. And
Relax. And that's when all those light codes come in too. Like I could
yep.
feel that cathedral network. Like when I was in the Bahamas and the Half Moon Cay, I'm swimming in the water. I am wearing sunglasses, but the sky is flashing on and off pink. The
Oh wow.
sky's pink, and I'm seeing this iridescent, shimmery, almost like a metallic, like soap bubble type of energy with gold on
Nice.
top of the water that would flash on and off. And I'm like, this is like a tributary of that internal, eternal realm of the cathedral network that was like positive, like it was feeling like, no underground base, like I'm just there, just in
Yeah.
the
Mhm.
time before there was those type of
Yeah,
programs.
I like that too. I like that. And I don't know. I don't know. It's good to experience the contrast, so you know what you prefer and don't prefer. How would you know if you didn't experience that? But I do want to go back to the Four Corners area and a slower pace and see more things. Um, you know, with
Mm-hmm.
with with someone who understands and wants to be there in those places too. That is interested in the native sites and the petroglyphs and rocks and streams and the land and all of that kind of stuff too.
Yeah, like
So
the Zuni reservation. I just watched something on Netflix which was about Sitting Bull. Was very interesting because it was about the Lakota. It
oh
was
yeah.
about the Sioux, the
Mhm.
the Lakota,
Sitting
the
Bull. Mhm.
Sitting Bull and Red Cloud.
Yep. Mhm. I
Two
love them.
series. It was really, really cool. Oh,
Yeah.
and then speaking of petroglyphs in our area of Western North Carolina in Cullowhee, there's a place called Judaculla Rock I went to recently. I took my friend Donna there we had stayed at the casino in Cherokee, and then
Hmm.
the one in Murphy, Harrah's, off the Nantahala River. But we went to the cat museum that has a cat mummy, and we went to the
Oh
Judaculla
yeah.
Rock, which has petroglyphs.
Wow. Yeah, that would
It's
be
like
nice.
thousands of years old. It's very
Yeah.
interesting.
Well, maybe I can come and visit you then, like that, and you could take me around. That
Yeah,
would
I
be
would
like a start.
have a whole grid work tour in Western North Carolina that I've been trying to put together for, I've done for small groups, but there's so many things to see, like even like Mount Mitchell, which is the highest point. I don't know if I talked about this, that years ago when I did the Star Knowledge Conference, this whole piece came in of why it was important to do this, because Mount Mitchell was holding like timeline memories of for the whole East Coast, because it's the highest point on the Eastern Continental Divide, east of the Mississippi, east of the Rockies at 6,684 feet. It was holding like timeline memories of the Civil War, where I said, where I am, I'm really close to Fort Sumter, where the first shots were fired. Memories of contention between, like masculine, feminine, race wars, and all this stuff. And that was because of some of the stuff that they buried. Like if you go up there, your compass will screw up. Like if you have
Mm,
a compass, it may not be true north because of stuff they buried up there, but
mm,
when they what was interesting is when they took that obelisk down in Asheville, it's like it scrambled, even though like on the lower level, this is not good because the BLM and the Antifa and all the crap they were doing during that time. But what it did is it scrambled the frequency so it couldn't talk to Mount Mitchell. And now Mount Mitchell is like clean energy up there. It's like,
oh,
it's good and pristine because it's not having this like underground base negativity anymore. I love going up there. And
oh,
that picture I sent you is Arthur up at Mount Mitchell, the one where he's wearing his little cape that has
mm-hmm.
the fall leaves and he's got the rocks behind him. That's Arthur at Mount Mitchell.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. So you should put together a thing like that of some sort, and when it's cooler weather too, in that way, then we could
Yeah, well,
enjoy that.
where I met James was at the Appalachian Starseed reunion that Christy Campbell had put on.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But her her beloved, passed, and also that area was hit from Helene.
Mm.
Hurricane Helene did a lot of
Mm-hmm.
devastation to the whole area.
Yeah. I like to go and do stuff, like explore and do stuff and not stay in a conference. I don't care to do that at all.
Blame you. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Because I
that's
can
what it,
watch the people on YouTube, really like that. So I don't really, I want to go outside and be in nature and go be on the land and stuff. So yeah, I'd rather do something like us and not someone else's thing. Because they're like, oh, we got to wake up at 9 o'clock in the morning and eat breakfast. And then we're going to do the singing bowl. And then we're going to, whatever. I'm like, oh, that doesn't sound fun to do that, you know? So, yeah, I don't like controlled stuff. I don't, I just am like, I just like cringe at it. It's like, I can't wake up at that early, like, and want to go, like, I don't know. So I don't prefer that at all.
right. I know what you mean, but when I used to do this Biltmore Village mystery tour, but that was like an hour and 15 minutes where you go around to the different
Yeah,
sites that were like part of the Biltmore. Didn't you say you had some memory about the Biltmore? When I
yeah,
was James is he has that box thing. You remember
yeah.
that
Mm-hmm.
he had
The cube. Mm-hmm.
cube. I played with that thing and I went into some meditation. He guided me a little bit and then I just started channeling whatever. And I ended up at the Biltmore with that. And I had a total meltdown.
Really? Wow. What do you like, from the frequency or from like the negative or what? What
Stuff
happened
going
with that?
on the Biltmore that was negative, which I
Yeah.
knew, but I mean, I think now it's not. I mean, I love the
It's a
ground.
different realm though, or a different reality or maybe like a parallel reality. Cause this is gonna be like I woke up and I thought of Chastity Campbell, and then she thought of me when she woke up too. I told her and she said, I thought of you too. And then I didn't feel good and she didn't feel good and we were kind of feeling nauseous and some. And then she said we was at the Biltmore, and I was like, where's that? And I had to Google it and stuff. And I was like, that feels familiar. I've seen that. And I think I've been taken to that numerous times then, and think it's like a castle someplace else, but it's a castle there. for the rituals, for um just doing the sex kitten work. And she said we was like 15 years old, and it's like clones of us, in a different reality that's
Well,
that that is still being accessed.
they do have a sister castle. So this is the alleged story that I heard. Okay. So the Biltmore, where it is it's in Asheville, and it was built in, I think it was 1895. George Vanderbilt and Edith finished it. And there was, George brought a guy named Robert Shank to Western North Carolina for the first forestry school, which was in the Pisgah National Forest. Okay. To get to Pisgah National Forest from the Biltmore would be about 7 or 8 hours on horseback. That's not a trip my butt would want to take, but allegedly there was a guy that actually lived at the time. I heard about this through another friend who had a radio show at the time. A young kid lived in Biltmore Forest, which is where Andie MacDowell used to live. The actress Andie MacDowell, I actually met her when I was doing chair massage at an Earth fair. But anyway, this kid had met this rich guy. I think he was working for him. I can't remember if it was yard work. I kind of don't have all the pieces to the story, so it's like a whisper down the lane, but it's the essence of the story ends up being the same, because it ends up being sort of like an Eyes Wide Shut type of
Mm-hmm.
movie. Well,
Mm-hmm.
he was taken to this party, and he had to be blindfolded in a car driving on what he knew was the Blue Ridge Parkway, because he knew the parkway very well. He knew where the Pisgah Inn was, and he said it was past the Pisgah Inn, and it was somewhere deep past even like what's called the Devil's Courthouse, which connects into this whole Judaculla rock piece, which is very interesting. And Ron and I actually tried to look at this on the map at one time, and we could not find this castle, which they called the Fahey Castle. And it was the type of place when he went that it was all like politicians and people in Hollywood
Mm-hmm.
and all this kind of stuff there. And they come out with the drinks and the food and the crumb sweeper and, all that kind of stuff. But then it becomes like, I just saw that movie. I had to watch it, called Blink Twice. Have you
Yeah.
seen this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I just watched that, and that was about memories. And then there was another movie I watched called Recollection, which was about forgetting. And the theme of Blink Twice was forgetting is a gift. That was
Yeah.
the theme that they said. And I think that's what's happened to me a lot. I've forgotten a lot, right? There's
Mm-hmm.
a lot of things I don't remember. But what he said is there was like the first day was, the food and the drinks, then it got into the drugs, then it got into the sex thing. Then it was like all these women supposedly chained up to feed some entity, like they were for the entity. And could it be Judaculla? But I don't see Judaculla as bad just because he's a giant and he's part of a Cherokee legend. At that time, I thought, well, could this be the Judaculla? I don't think it is, but it's some negative entity. But people say this is like the sister castle of the Biltmore estate. And if you know about the Biltmore and the pool and Gloria Vanderbilt and Anderson Cooper, who is, related
Mm-hmm.
to Gloria Vanderbilt, and John Podesta, which was connected to Hillary Clinton, and all
Yep.
that weird
Mm-hmm.
artwork
Yep.
that he did of those kids in the pool. So there is some, and the Halloween room. So there is some kind of ritual going on that they may not even know they're doing a ritual. It's because the altars, it's this whole thing with the altars coming in. So like their consciousness much project out, something else projects in, kind of like that whole Rosemary's Baby thing
Mm-hmm.
that was like in a dream state. I don't know. It's so weird like
Yeah.
that. That's
No.
programs are, it's just so weird. So I'm like circling back around for that, for people if they're new to this information, and also like being afraid to like talk about it. Like I was like afraid to talk about it too, because I didn't want to be branded as that. Like I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to be branded as I'm just
Mm-hmm.
SSP, or I'm just my lab, or I'm
Mm-hmm.
just super soldier,
Yeah.
abductee, whatever, because we're much more. We're so multidimensional, and
Mm-hmm.
that's just a fractal on a piece of who it is that we are,
Yep.
really. But
Mhm.
it's an important piece because we got to get these memories back. We got to get, because our gifts are tied to that. There's something about our superpowers that are tied to those memories.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they're using the our abilities and stuff in the programs cuz that's how they're using our abilities for that cuz we're having to do I guess the sex parties or something like that and then maybe even doing like the aneurysms, giving people aneurysms, through our psionic abilities. So, um,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. What do they call that? Psychic spot. Yeah,
yeah. So we'd be there, we'd be sent there to do kind of like a spy, assassin,
yeah.
beta sex slave kind of thing too. So they activate it. There's still some piece, I guess, that is activated for that. So I didn't
Right.
know that either. That it was like I don't know. I guess they still it just shows that that still is they own those fractals of your consciousness. Like people ask
So
me all the time, how do we destroy all these clones? But
I was wondering, how do we stop that part of our consciousness from replicating? We don't want it to be a replicant anymore.
yeah, I'm not even sure. I know that we could maybe cut off like the connection, but it seems like you still get it back as it returns as the clone dies and then the consciousness returns. Uh, then the memory comes back, So I'm not sure. I don't have that answer because I've wondered too. So I'm not sure on how to because they would need to have all the places blow up and destroy the main um, consciousness that they have copied of you, but then they have many more in different places.
It
So
really is like Spectre, in that James Bond where this arm doesn't know what that arm's doing. It's like all these arms and they don't know,
yeah,
even though they're connected to the middle, they don't know.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know how that is. For some reason it's going on and experiencing, so maybe it's gathering information, maybe like Drago said that I volunteer myself in a lot of these programs so that I can be so we can I can pinpoint who the bad guys are, who the pedophiles are and everything like that. So if I go in and they're doing that, then they can tag the person, so we also
Right?
are doing that. So, yeah. So, I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess just working on clearing yourself, and then that's probably the best, just working on like keeping your own self charged up, you know? Yeah.
And I can stay in the present moment. That's what's most important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right, because that's stuff you can't even control because it's in a different reality, that you have. Like, even if you went there to try to find it, it's probably not even in that reality. It's like another, it's like a layover or something like that, or another parallel, or it could be anything. Yeah. It could be even another timeline that so yeah, it becomes too much to worry about, really. So it doesn't bother me so much. Like I don't obsess of how to get rid of them because I know I can't control that at all. All I can control is what's here and now, and keeping my memories and stuff, and getting things and all that. So yeah, and experiencing this reality, So yeah, so I want to show you my other book that came out today too. That's the
Oh,
You Were Born to Shine. So it's
ooh,
yeah, it's for the kids, So it's going to be affirmations for kids to help empower them.
oh, I love that.
Yeah. So this is all the book is about, is helping kids to like the whole book is like affirmations.
Oh,
So
that's great.
yeah, they're on Amazon. So it came out today. So yeah, and then so I like to help kids and then show other aspects of me, teaching So I like these little books. These are just 32 pages, and that gives me enough room to tell a whole story of an aspect of myself, of what I remember, or to help kids and stuff too. So, yeah, that's what I like. So, you want to wrap it up now? Do you want to?
Yeah, this has been awesome. This
Hmm.
has been a great time. And I think it was a great integration to bring these Sedona pieces. I'm going to believe that you're going to get back time doing, I'd love to get back there too. I didn't have any call to go to that conference, but
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, definitely cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's it's good to go there because I wanted to go there, and so that's okay. And it's good to experience that and what it's like. And then so now I would like to just go uh explore, be outside and
right.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so okay. Well, thank you for doing the interview and talking, and those we covered a lot of subjects too. So that'd be great to for
Anybody
people to
wants to
listen
email
to.
me, the best way, I guess, is, you can friend me on Facebook. There's mutual friends. You'll find me. My YouTube channel, which is at Missy Hill Galactic Earth Fusion. I don't have much on there, and then I'm on Instagram and X, and you can email me at Hill, Hill, Night, Nite, Vision, Vision, at gmail.com, Hill Night Vision at gmail.com. And
Okay.
I do stuff for
Okay.
people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
Not.
find me. I don't even advertise what I do. If people resonate, they just ask me, and I
Yeah.
get,
And you're on Rob's channel a lot too,
yeah,
doing interviews and everything too. So that's
yeah.
good. So yeah, and people can find me also on Facebook, and then I'm also I have my own website. It's Christy Campbell CC33.com, and I have all my services too. I list on there like the to help people with memories and of the super soldier programs, or even just to like counsel. Um, like I'm not a counselor, but with the Karuna Reiki, I can help them find stuff to help heal some trauma or something. It's like I would go in to deep to where the trauma began, to the core of that. So we kind of do things like that to help. Um, and so that's on my website. And then to email me, it's Christy CHRISTY CAMPBELL .11 at gmail.com. So if you wanted to email me. So, and I'm on TikTok, and uh I am on Instagram, but not a whole lot. Yeah. So just probably Facebook is the best, for that. So, and then my YouTube channel is Christy Campbell CC33, and I put all my videos on there too. So, yeah. So, thank y'all for watching, and watching the whole thing too, because we covered a lot of information too. So it's all important stuff to us that we talked about. So, yeah. So, okay, well, have a good night, Missy. We'll talk to you
That's
later.
great.
Okay,
Bye.
bye bye.